everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Character. My name is Jordan-Paige. I'm the show creator and host. Thank you so much for being here today. If you like what you see here today, please consider pressing the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when we post every Tuesday and Thursday. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Breaking Character Show. Today, I am so excited to have CAELIN Estradillo on the show. CAELIN Estradillo is an aspiring actress and creative based in Canada. With a strong theater and musical background, she fell in love with entertaining at an early age and performed in many school performances like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Romeo and Juliet, Mary Poppins, and others. Through the past year, CAELIN has eagerly been working towards her acting dream and is dedicated to improving her craft of telling stories. Apart from acting, CAELIN loves being outdoors, singing, playing the violin, reading, spending time with her family and friends, and figure skating. So without further ado, let's head to Zoom. All right, everyone, here we are with the amazing CAELIN Estradillo. How are you doing today, CAELIN? What's up?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. I still have a bit of a morning voice, so it sounds kind of raspy and a little bit on the gross side, but how are you doing?
You sound fine. I am doing well, thank you. I woke up later than I normally wake up, so I have a little bit of that going on as well. I looked at the clock and I was like, what? I usually never sleep until like 9:30, and yet I was like, okay, I guess today that happened. Well, I am so excited to have you on the show. I absolutely loved your vlogs so much. I love, especially when you're playing the violin, because I love the violin, but I have zero idea how to play it. None. I've never touched one, but I love the instrument so much. So when you were practicing, I was like, yes. So, all right, so let's start this off with two truths and a lie. So I'm going to attempt to guess which one the lie is, and we'll see if I can actually guess it. So whenever you're ready.
Okay, so, few truths and a lie. I have touched two tectonic plates. I've been bitten by a snake, and I've been in the direct path of a shark.
Okay, this is difficult. Wow, all three of those things. Like, whoa, okay. It has also been a long time since I've heard the words tectonic plates. I flashed back to science class for a second there. Okay, I am gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that the second one's the lie.
Yeah, you're right.
It is? No way!
Good job.
Dang. Okay, so wait, you have to tell me about being in the direct path of a shark. What?
Okay, it sounds more, it sounds worse than it actually is.
Yeah, I know thankfully sharks are not as like lethal as like people, usually they're not. So but seriously, that must have been terrifying.
Yes. Okay. So, my family and I went to Belize, and we did like an excursion where we swam with sharks, and it was a nurse shark, so it's not as ferocious, as other kinds of sharks. But I was just swimming, minding my own business, and I looked to the right of me, and a shark with its beady little eyes just starts swimming towards me, and I start panicking, and I have my snorkel, and I just kind of start screaming a little bit, but it doesn't sound like you're screaming because of the snorkel. It just sounds like you're being strangled a little bit.
It just sounds like
But like I was able to kind of back away because I don't think the shark would have stopped. I think it just would have plowed like straight through me.
It was like, I don't really care that you're here, but you're gonna get out of my way.
Exactly. But yeah, like as it passed, I kind of just touched it, and I was like, "You're not gonna eat me today."
Not today. Not today. Dang, I give you so much credit. I don't think I could ever swim with sharks. Whew, that would scare me too much. All right, so first question, what inspired you to get into the industry, and can you tell us a little bit about your experience so far?
Yeah, of course. So I've always been more on the artistic side because I like acting, I like singing, playing music, and writing stories and songs. But when I was little, I watched loads of TV at my grandparents' house. Don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I loved watching bloopers of film and like TV shows on YouTube, and I think that was one of the main like reasons I wanted to, because I wanted to be like part of that community. And then also like in grade 7 at school, I was auditioning for my school play, and I think like it was the first time I kind of got lost in a character, which it's weird because I've never been able to like replicate that feeling, but um, yeah, it was just it was just me and the person I was talking to, and then I was so like enveloped in that feeling that I missed maybe 3 of my lines, which like I didn't have a lot of lines because it was an audition, so I just did like the first and last bit of it, and I told my teacher about it afterwards, and she's like, "No, it was fine. You did really well. Like, it was so believable, and it's okay that you messed up." So I think also that pushed me to want to share that feeling with others and have people get lost with me in a character and in a story. Um, but I think the second part of your question was how like my experience in the industry. Okay, so I'm still a beginner because I just started last March of like 2020 when COVID started, and that's when I just started my research and I made my resume. I took a beginner's acting class, on-screen acting class, and I booked my first photo shoot for headshots. Yeah, and after that, like I sent all of the information to agents, and I just waited for like 3 or 4 months. And like in the meantime, I took an improv class and just tried to familiarize myself with the industry. And then finally, I heard back from a couple agents, and like I signed with one, and then I set up my casting profiles, and then just started to audition.
That's amazing. I love that story about that first time losing yourself in a character. I think that first like memory that you have of like when you first started, for you it was grade 7. For me, I think it was something in grade 3 that we were doing like a small production, and I was like, "Please, I want to play this so badly." And then I got to, and that feeling of just like getting to do it. I love that story. And then that's so awesome too that you sent out your stuff to agencies and you heard back. That's such a great thing because so many times that doesn't happen. And it's like, I know here at least, it's like if you're in a showcase or you have like something like that is really one of the only ways to like put yourself in front because they don't really look at a lot of the incoming stuff. So I'm so happy to hear that that worked out for you. And I give you credit too for starting right when the pandemic hit and keeping like to still keep going because I mean, that could have just been like, you know what, I'll start later. But instead you were like, no, I'm going to keep going, which is fantastic. So how do you handle the rejections that come within the industry? Because we all know there are so many that happen. How do you handle those?
Um, okay, well, I don't want to say I was naive at first, but I definitely underestimated the effect like rejections can have on people because I thought I was a tough cookie. I can handle whatever's thrown at me. But there's the added layer of not knowing if you book the job until the filming days pass. So you just have to like. I mean, I know for me, which like I do all the time, is I keep hoping, 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 and then I don't book the job. But I think yeah, just you need to know like it's gonna sound so cheesy, but you need to know like your own worth, and you just got to trust that someone's gonna come along and see that potential because after you do 10 auditions, like you start doubting yourself because you're like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe it's my luck, it's my hairstyle, my whatever. So yeah, I think you just gotta own who you are, and then someone will see that.
So true. So true. My favorite thing to remember is that you're just waiting for the character that is meant for you. There are characters that are meant for you. It's something that, and it's hard to remember that. As you said, it's like you and I think I might have did the same thing when I was first starting out. You kind of downplay like, oh well, I don't, like if it's fine, like I'll be fine, and then you start to be like, oh, like am I? And then yeah, you to push past that and be like, never mind, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep going until, as you said, someone sees that potential or you are right for that character. So the other thing I love to remember is that if you didn't book it, at least someone else did, and someone else got to have that, someone else was right for that character. And so
So yeah, and the casting world is so interesting, right? Because sometimes it comes down to like your eyes, and it's like it's nothing against you, but for some reason they just want someone that has a different colored eye, and they're like, oh well, you know. Or if casting is like, this is the person, and the director's like, nah, and they're like, why? You know, it's so strange sometimes how particular they are about specific things, and then there's other times they're like, yeah, you know, we don't really have any qualifications, just we just want to see who's best for it.
Yeah, you
Okay,
just
so here's my
personally.
exactly. Not taking it personally is key, but it's very difficult to remember that and not start to plant that seed of doubt and be like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what am I? It just the cycle of questions just keeps going. So here's my wild card question. Has nothing to do with anything. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's real. I love food, so that's a meal.
Yeah. Or like, and it can be any type of meal. It can be a combination of different things, like whatever you would want to make that meal.
I mean, I gotta say Filipino food because I'm Filipino. Um, so a meal. Okay, maybe some. Uh, it's called pancit. It's like the traditional noodle
Cool.
in the Philippines. So I think I get some of that and maybe some halo halo, which is like an ice cream, and then maybe some like meat and veggies and just have it all there. And French fries. I really love French fries. That's not Filipino at all.
French fries are great though. I mean,
So
they're yes, I agree with you on that one. That's yeah, I wish I wasn't so picky, because then I would be like, I need to try, I'm extremely picky. And I'm like, why I need to just try like food from other places, and my taste buds are like, no. Like, all right, okay.
what do you not like?
I a lot. I am like, if you imagine a 7-year-old's American, like, but that's me. That's my taste buds. That's essentially the like limit of what they just enjoy. I don't know what it is. I'm like, there's very few like other things outside of that that are like more adventurous, that really aren't that adventurous. Just for my taste buds, they are. It's just, it's very strange. So, I mean, it's my goal to like slowly branch out, but so many things it's just like we're not doing that. And I'm like, but it looks good. Taste buds are like, no, it's not happening today. So it, you know, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, everyone has their own. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word.
Preferences.
Preferences.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, now it is time for memory association. So I have got the random word generator pulled up on my phone. We're going to generate a random word and share the first memory that we're willing to share that comes to our minds when we think of that word. So our word is, oh, this one's going to be interesting. Weakness.
Do you want to go first? Because
Sure. The first thing I think of, the first thing I thought of when I thought of weakness, was I thought of, oh, I actually thought of a show that my friend Ben is on right now. He plays the young version of the villain in Superman and Lois. I always pronounce her name incorrectly, but there's this scene where in the most like one of the recent episodes where they're like, okay, we're gonna test your, you know, basically your ability to withstand different things. And so it's they literally like hit him with this beam of light and he's like screaming in pain. And so that's what made me think of weakness. I don't know why, because I watched that scene and of course it's my friend, but I know he's playing a character and I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, don't hurt Ben. I'm like, I am the supportive mom friend. I post about everything under the sun that like so but yeah, that's what I thought of when I heard the word weakness.
okay. Um, I okay. I was thinking of something different, but when you started talking about Superman and all that, I thought of another memory. But my aunt, because I'm allergic to peanuts and nuts, so she had talked to me one time about those allergies. She's like, "Do you ever consider them like your kryptonite?" I was like, "That sounds super cool. I'm gonna start using that."
I love that. That's awesome. That's a great way to look at it too. As you said, it's like it is kryptonite. Love it. Yeah, I oh my gosh. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man. I don't know about you.
Spider-Man's good. Yeah. I I really like Black Widow, but I think I'm just getting really hyped up about her movie that's coming
Oh
out.
my gosh, I am so excited to see that. It looks so good. I
And
can't
that's
wait.
such a good cast. Oh, it's great.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, so what differences have you found between on-camera and theater acting, and how does that affect how you prepare for both of those?
Okay, so there are some similarities about the two, but there are some big differences that I'm still trying to work to improve. But like in theater, you need to be good with projecting your voice. Even if you have a mic, it's just like a good habit to have to make sure people in the back row can hear you. And there are many times in theater when, like, with the bright lights, you can't really see who's in the audience. So you're just kind of generally looking around and hoping you're like making an impact on someone. Um, and then, yeah, I think also just, okay, apparently my mom says I have really, like, my eyebrows move a lot when I act. Maybe in real life, I don't know. But that's something for on screen or on camera work. I have to really kind of control because you need more kind of subtle emotions because that's more realistic. Um, and also, I guess in on camera stuff, you have eye lines because you need to be specific with who you're looking at, how tall they are, right? So I guess for preparing for theater, like what I always say is go big or go home because you just have to put yourself out there and um, be like relatable to the audience, but even like to the audience in the front row and then also in the back. And then for preparing for on-screen roles, I think I just need to feel relaxed and make sure because any tension or like doubt that you have, like for me at least, it shows on camera. So just being relaxed and in the moment is what helps me.
Yeah, that is something I also have been just trying to like not let that show is something that's really difficult because on stage you're so expressive and you have to be bigger so it doesn't show, but on camera it can. People can see past that. So that is it's easier said than done, at least for me, when it's like just like let and I'm like, no, I'm worried about forgetting my lines, and if I forget my lines, then how is that going to look? And oh my gosh, like it's just it's great because with on camera you have like multiple takes, but at the
Yes.
same time more takes is more money on set, and you're like, I don't want to be the one causing for more takes to happen. It's just yeah, but it is interesting how like there are those similarities and then there are very big differences at the same time. So could you give some advice to those watching? This could be career advice, life advice, whatever type of advice you would like to give.
Okay. Um, okay, so what I always try and do um, is to try and always go to bed happy. And sometimes that's not possible. Like maybe you just need to be in that slump, or maybe you're just really sad and you need to just end your day like that. But for me, like I always see like you can learn something from each day. And at the end of the day, you just need to choose if you want to learn from that or not. And yeah, so I mean, whenever I just go to bed, like, I just smile to myself and then sleep.
I love that. I think that is so wise and such a great piece of advice. I'm going to be using that. That's like such a great, I never even thought about that, but you're so right. I love that. I love how too, like I ask for like this advice. It's like, it's mostly for me. Like I'm literally asking for advice. It's also for the expense of everyone watching, but I get advice too. And I love it. So when things get tough, here's a cat, sorry. When things get tough, what pushes you to keep going?
Okay. Definitely, first and foremost is my family and friends. Like I'm so lucky to have a big support group with me who keep me encouraged and like accountable for what I'm doing. But I mean, there's a few things that happen whenever I get discouraged. Like it's kind of a whole process. So, um, but firstly, like I just allow myself to feel and react how I want to like certain things that happen. So whether that's like crying or screaming into my pillow or just moping around the house. But then there's a point where I realize, like, I'm at my worst. I can't go anywhere but up. Like, it needs to get better, and I need to find that trust that things will get better. And I mean, I guess it's easier for me too because I'm from like a religious family and I can turn to my faith as well. But yeah, because you also just got to acknowledge, like, will whatever's stressing me out affect me in a day, in a week, in a year? Because if not, then why are you stressing about it? Like, you can still have the same outcome, but just like relax a bit more. And I know it is easier said than done, but it's just something I can think about. And I think also what helps me is writing morning pages, which I talked about in the vlogs. But it's because the whole point of it is to not have anyone read them. So you can take comfort that you can just pour your heart and soul out and no one's going to judge you. But yeah, so that's a big thing. And once usually coming out of that, I remember like why I want to act or why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because like I want to connect people. I want to help others emphasize. Whoa, no, that's not the right word. Empathize with characters and to tell stories and have that fascination of escaping into a world that's not yours. But yeah, I think those are the big. Oh, and also, I'd like to have my alone time too. Those, oh, they're so good. Like whether because things as simple as like cloud watching or daydreaming or stargazing really helps ground me and calm me. And at the end of the day, like you need to have that vision of where you want to go and have that keep pushing you forward to like achieve that goal.
I love that. There's so much wisdom here right now. I am very much appreciating it, and I know that everyone watching is appreciating it too. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I love all of that so much. I also really want to go stargazing now because I haven't done it in a while, and now I really want to. So I got to find a place to do that. And then lastly, where can people follow you and keep up with what you do?
Yes, so I have really one professional social platform, but that's Instagram, and it's at it's K14, not the letter K, it's CAE, like the first three letters of my name. And yeah.
Perfect. Well, that will be in the description below. So everyone go follow Caitlyn because you are not going to want to miss. I know she's going to kill it in the industry. I know that for a fact. And thank you so, so much for being on the show today. I had so much fun getting to talk to you and really, getting to know you a little bit better because this is the first time we've talked face to face. Well, Zoom face to face. So I loved it so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Of course. Well, I'm going to click stop on the recording, so we are going to head out of Zoom.
Thank you all so much again for watching today. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider pressing the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when we post, and you can follow us on Instagram at Breaking Characters Show. If you yourself are a creative and you're interested in being on the show, you can check out the description box below where there's a link on how to submit yourself. And if you would like to follow Caitlyn or I on any of our social medias, all of that is down there as well. Next week, I am so excited to be having my friend RJ Arwin on the show. So be sure to check back on Tuesday and Thursday of next week to see his vlogs and his interview. Thank you all so much again for watching, and we will see you next Tuesday.